From deep in the forest, high atop the great Smoky Mountains. This is Smoky Mountain Off-Grid. Alright, here we go. A little more commentary. And as I've said before in previous videos, I like to put a little bit of news in with every video that I do. And today's news is that the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, the tax man, has put off the filing season until February. Now, I think you can figure that one out for yourself. You know, H&R Block and TurboTax and all those guys within a matter of hours had adjusted their programs for this second stimulus that was still in 2020. But no, not the IRS. It's going to take them a month to get the code all squared away to accept tax returns for the second stimulus. Yeah, that's the way the government rolls, right? And we're paying them. And there's going to be a lot of repercussions from that too. Alright, but we'll go over that when the incident occurs. In form of full disclosure, this particular video will go on YouTube under the heading of Smoky Mountain Off-Grid, and BitChute under the heading of Smoky Mountain Off-Grid, SMOKEY, Mountain Homestead, all one word. Because I think I'm getting to be done with YouTube. And if you watch my YouTube stuff, you know that they've taken me down. They've taken a lot of things down of mine. Because I don't know why. You know, I'm not a conservative, I'm not a liberal, I'm not a libertarian, I'm common sense oriented. And so, you know, they just have a problem with some of the things that I say. And, you know, that's, you guys will have, anybody who watches these videos will have a problem with something I say someplace along the line. I mean, I'm an old curmudgeon, and you can look that word up, but you won't. And that, you know, that's part of the attitude. And so, I'm new to BitChute. You know, I posted one introductory video. I'm thinking about Patreon. I don't like the idea of charging money though. So, I don't know. I mean, a lot of things are going to change. And I alluded to in the first video, if you're on BitChute, the 80-20 principle. So I would like to elaborate on that. You know, 80% of the population, they say that, you know, they're going to 80% of the conservatives, I guess, are, you know, the election was rigged, all that kind of stuff, right? And we'll stand up for Trump, but when push comes to shove, only 20% of them stand up. It's the same way in life in general. It's human nature. You know, 80% of the population says, well, you know, I'd like to build an off-grid homestead or something, you know, outside of suburbia. You know, it'd be better for my kids, and oh, they have all the right reasons, right? And, you know, we'll do solar power, and we'll do, oh, it'll be wonderful, we'll grow our own food and all this kind of, but the fact of the matter is that less than 20% of those people will ever do anything. So this is an off-grid channel. This is a how-tos on off-grid stuff, you know, how to do this and that and the other thing. The most recent thing that we're going to do, I mean, the thing that we're going to pursue from this point forward are, we're putting a guest house, an off-grid guest house on the homestead. Now, it's an off-grid homestead. We have a cabin, we have infrastructure, we have all of that stuff. But this will be a smaller building, someplace around 600 square feet. And it's going to be made with mostly storm-damaged wood from our woods. We're not rich. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you anyway. You know, I've built all my life, and I've always been able to build for $10 a square foot. Now that's not finished. That's dried in. So let me explain that. Dried in means that it's framed. There's some kind of a sheathing on the outside. The windows and doors are in, and there's a roof on it. That means it's dried in from the weather. And here recently, I just did a takeoff on this off-grid guest house that we're going to build, and Lord, the prices are astronomically high. You know, I haven't bought any lumber in the last couple of years because, you know, I've been struggling with rheumatoid arthritis. And so, but we've had to go up to clean up the storm damage up there, so we're going to have to fire the sawmill back up and get this wood cut. I mean, it's spalted pine, most of it, because, you know, they're infected with the beetles and that kind of stuff, and that's, you know, the spalting is a bacteria. And so, you know, the root system was compromised, so when a windstorm came through there, it blew down like 8,000 board feet of southern yellow pine. So we're going to have to saw that up, and it's a good thing because I can't afford lumber. Lumber prices have doubled. I mean, the last project I built was the 2-story addition on the cabin, and that was about 600 square feet. And no, that's not the last thing I built. I built a bungalow in North Carolina, and you know, I was right on the $10 a square foot for, you know, drying it in. But you know, I priced it out on the takeoff, and it's double that, easily double that. So. Most of the wood for this project is coming off of our property, which brings up a whole bunch of other things that are going to be going on. Right now, the cat's getting ready to move the camera. She's going to rub up against the tripod. So, you know, it's not an earthquake. She didn't do it. She jumped down. That's good. So. You know, it'll be pretty much everything, all the resources will come, you know, from our property. And it's going to take me a while to do it. I'm old, you know, I don't walk very good anymore. I'm not real positive. I haven't hammered a nail in a while. I'm not real positive I can hold a hammer, but I got nail guns, so that's okay. We'll figure a way around it. Right now, I'm trying to figure out a way to get logs moved. I used to move them, I used to clear them with a pry bar and a rope, clear them out of whatever uh, environment they were in to a point where I could get a logging arch in there, and then I would pull that logging arch and take them to the sawmill, uh, uh, by hand. I can't do that anymore. I tried it a couple of videos ago. I think it's probably in. If you go to YouTube and you look up, you'll be able to see it. Smoky Mountain Off Grid, because it's a relatively new channel. I've done other channels in the past, but too many people watch, which is my signal to myself to tell me that I'm off track. I want to go with this 80-20 principle because there's no sense in you wasting your time watching what we do if you don't have the gumption to do it. It's a positive method of moving forward in a society that's moving backwards, in a political system that is turning more socialistic every day, and a tax structure that can't do anything but increase, a currency structure that can't do anything but lose value. So, it is, in my opinion, it's the only way to move forward, to protect yourself and your family. And 80%, here we go, 80% of the people will say, oh yeah, that's the way to go, yeah, I'm going to do that. But less than 20% will ever do it. And if you're, in that 80%, just don't waste your time. Go play video games or do whatever else it is that you do to occupy your time. And yeah, okay, so I'm a little obnoxious. The truth of the matter is I'm a lot obnoxious. I've been building all my life. And I just don't have time to explain everything to everyone. I've got things to do. And now that there's been a shift in the social fabric of this country, the United States of America, I have even more to do than when I was fully functional. So, yeah, we're going to be cutting lumber for an off-grid guest house. We've got to clear land to do that. We've got to clean up storm damage, and there's a significant amount of it. We're starting a new business that revolves around the homestead. And so, where am I going to get time? I went through a whole series, and if you look it up on YouTube, about fundamental, basic, elementary economics. Watch it if you have questions about what I'm saying. So, 80-20 principle applies. 80% of the people who watch this video, only 20% will watch the second one, or the third one, or whatever. And that's fine with me. I don't necessarily want the notoriety. What I do want to do is get the information out there, because there are people in this world who are willing to work and do whatever it takes for themselves and their family. And that's the mindset you have to have. You don't have to have a strong back or any of that kind of stuff. Come on, I got rheumatoid arthritis. I'm the most non-functional adult human being you probably ever meet. But I'm going to get this done. So, I'm looking at my notes. I'm not the brightest bulb in the box. I can't maintain a continuous train of thought. I get sidetracked, and that doesn't have anything to do with old age or dementia or any of that kind of stuff. And I clear my throat a lot, I cough, all that kind of stuff. I don't have coronavirus. I've been tested 6 different times for coronavirus. I don't have it. I smoke. And that's not going to end anytime soon. Well, it'll end when I die. So, you know, I said a lot, and some of it's derogatory. And I know that, preparedness. See, that's the 80-20 principle again. You know, the big fad is preparedness. You know, you buy a box of freeze-dried food and bottled water. Yeah, that is preparing. It's preparing to starve to death and die of dehydration. That's not preparing, folks. Preparing is to have a perpetual supply of food. And the only way you can do that is to grow your own. Preparing is to have a perpetual supply of water. That's not counting on the municipality to run pumps and chlorinated water to your house. You can't store enough bottled water. So we'll go over all of that stuff. Same thing with solar power. Solar power will not work for this country, not with the infrastructure that we have. It will definitely not work. It works for Barb and I because we don't have big power hungry needs about things. We've got some common sense. We've been doing it for a long time. So, you know, all these preppers and stuff, good luck to you. It ain't going to help you. The food shortages are going to come not because we don't grow food. The food shortages are going to come because the distribution system is going to get all messed up. And it all has to do with this coronavirus nonsense. And that'll, just saying that will get me kicked off of YouTube, I guarantee you. And this first wave of this sickness stuff is not the end. It will come again. Not really. But that's what the news media will say. That's what the politicians will say. That's what your governor will say. That's what your mayor will say. And now, then there's going to be food shortages. And we've seen this before. Was it the first outbreak? What did you go? What did they limit? They limited meats. They limited paper products. That kind of thing. Not because they weren't available. It's because the distribution system was messed up. When they shut things down, they shut the trucks down too. And the factories where the trucks pick up the supplies, they shut them down. And that's how that's going to go. And being prepared means something totally different than what you've seen in advertisements and what you've seen all the people talking about being prepared. You know, I mean, you have to have a perpetual supply. It can't be 30, 60 days worth of anything. That's not going to save you. There's a lot of ways to do it. There's a lot of ways, even if you live in the city, and we'll go over that. Growing greens and sprouts in a closet. We do it. All right. So I just want to get that. What I'm really trying to do is see if anybody's going to bite on BitChute and follow this channel. And then I'm separately posting it on YouTube so that it's not tied to YouTube. See, I used to do Parlor, and that's another thing. I used to do Parlor. I was new to Parlor. Within 30 days of being on Parlor, you know, I was accumulating hundreds of views on my stuff. It was directly tied to YouTube. YouTube says I have 8 views. I had hundreds of views on my Parlor thing. And it's directly tied to YouTube. So you see that's shadow banning. And, you know, it doesn't bother me. It's not monetized or anything. Who cares? All I want to do is get the information out. You know, if I were a youngster and some old fart were to offer to show me the ropes, show me some things, even if he was a cranky old bastard, I'd listen. I definitely want to know. You know, there could be something that could make a difference. That's all I got to say. You know, I'm getting repetitious here, and this is probably going so long. I can't see well enough to see how long this is going. Well, maybe I can. 21 minutes? Maybe my eyes are better than I thought they were. Different times of day, different barometric pressure. Wait till you get old. You'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, so at any rate, we're going to go forward with this. We're going to see who's watching what and so forth and so on, because eventually I'm going to offer, I'm going to give stuff away that has to do with the new business. And, you know, all the spalted pine that I've got. So, stay tuned, and until next time, toodaloo.